iOS 6.1 has another beta. Jobs movie to premiere in January. Google updates their apps. iWork updated, and some iTunes tips. iTunes 11 tips, that is. It's Wednesday, December 5th, 2012, and this is iWake. I'm Tim Chaten, and this is what's going on in the Apple world today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of iWake. Once again, my apologies for yesterday and the lack of a show. As I mentioned yesterday, I basically got encapsulated and drawn into investigating this whole Siri proxy server and how that all works. And my conclusion is, it's a headache, it's a hassle, and until it gets more user-friendly and easy to work with, perhaps a GUI application where you can just drag and drop plugins, I don't think it's worth the headache or hassle. I did manage to get the server up and running, but was unable to get any plugins working, and I think I've just given up on it until better tools are made available to make it less headache-prone. So with that said, let's just get into the news of what's been going on in the Apple world. First up, as I mentioned in the beginning of the show here, iOS 6.1. It's got a new beta, Beta 3, weighs in at 105 megabytes, and it's available for developers. This is a good sign that Apple is ever closer to releasing this beta, or this non-beta version of iOS 6.1. So, still not is a lot known about what's in this update, but any updates to iOS 6 to make it more stable and faster and better is welcome. Next of the day, the Jobs movie, starring Ashton Kutcher, is set to premiere in January at the Sundance Film Festival. And basically, this is me debuting, I think the day Macworld starts, January 27th. So this will be in Park City, Utah. And I can't wait to see this film, and sadly, I won't be in attendance to see this premiere night. But so far, Sundance has released a poster image, or just an image of Ashton Kutcher sitting on a desk at Apple, and it gets me very excited to see this kind of stuff. And I'm excited to see all sorts of Apple-related movies come out. Hopefully, this goes out into wide release by the summer, or sooner even. But anyways, it's coming, and this is the first of at least 2 movies that are going to be about Steve Jobs. Next up today, let's talk about apps, app updates, and first up are Google apps. First up with that is the YouTube app. And good news here, it is now optimized for iPad and iPhone 5. Version 1.1.0.4136 is out. Yeah, that's their version number. It's also has the ability to stream videos with AirPlay without using their AirPlay mirroring hack. You can tap a logo to open up your guide of channels, add and remove videos from your playlists, clickable links and video demonstrations, that's now a thing, so descriptions, and improve accessibility with VoiceOver. So big update here for YouTube app, and I'm very happy this came out because iPad was terrible, iPhone 5 was not the best, so that's great that they added that. In other Google app news is the Gmail app, version 2. See, yeah, they did version 2 versus YouTube at version 1.1.3 billion numbers after that. So what's in version 2 of the Gmail app? Well, you got multiple account support for one. That's a huge, big thing there. The app's been redesigned with a new, cleaner look. Search predictions as you type. Infinite scrolling inbox. Respond to Google Calendar invites in line with your emails. Interactive Google Plus post support. And a new welcome experience. This app originally, version 1, was kind of a clunker. This latest update makes it much more usable and quite a good app, actually. So if you're into the Google experience with Mail, this, I think, is now an app you can actually use. Next up in app update news is Starbucks. Starbucks version 2.5.2 is now iPhone 5 compatible or supported, so it now has a bigger screen. So that is a welcome change there. The other big app update is from Amazon. Their Kindle app version 3.5 now has the X-ray feature for books. So you can see the bones of the book. You're able to basically get information about characters, places, and phrases from descriptions on Shelfari and Wikipedia. And it's also improved the Manja image rendering engine there. So nice update there from Amazon. So before leaving app update news, let's dig into the iWork update. So all of the apps for iWork were updated, both for Mac and for iOS. The Mac version simply were updated to support the new iOS version. So no new features for the Mac, but the iOS versions got lots of love. So Pages, I think, was the true standout here. In this release of Pages for iOS, Pages 1.7, it's improved compatibility with Microsoft Word and Pages for Mac. The big thing here, change tracking. You can use change tracking to track changes to body text in a document. You can accept and reject individual changes as you review a document. You can import pages in Microsoft Word documents with change tracking and continue to track changes to body text. You can preserve track changes in documents exported in Microsoft Word or Pages format. Preserve calculations to tables when importing from and exporting to Pages for Mac. Add reflections to shapes, lock and unlocked objects. So this is a huge, huge update for Pages. It really is. This is an update that everybody's been waiting for. Change tracking, not everybody, but people in school, people in business environments need change tracking. And this is Apple's thing. They're continually updating iWork, but they're not doing iWork 13. This is iWork 09, but they're continually adding new features. They're continually making this better and making it a better experience and a better application. And this is Apple's way now of just updating apps, making them better, but not actually charging you more money for it or not making a big deal about it. So that's Pages. Big update there with track changes. Numbers 1.7. In this release of Numbers for iOS is updated for improved compatibility with Microsoft Excel and Numbers for Mac. You're able to hide and unhide rows and columns, import and export numbers for Mac spreadsheets with filters, and turn filters on and off. You can preserve rich text in tables when importing and exporting, add reflections to shapes, and lock and unlock objects. And next up, Keynote 1.7. Once again, improved compatibility with the desktop clients. Import and export all Microsoft PowerPoint and Keynote for Mac slide sizes. So the big thing there is any slide size. You can import and export presentation themes complete with master slides and preset styles. You can play back all Keynote action builds, including move, rotate, scale, and opacity. They've added new slide transitions and lots of other goodies. Basically, a big solid update all around the board for iWork. Now, iWork 9.3 for Mac basically just adds compatibility for these apps. So, yeah, kind of a mouthful there. Kind of a lot of updates that have been going on. And these have been major updates, big updates, and welcome ones. Now, the funny thing here is how do you update iWork on your Mac? So some people had it bundled when they bought their Mac. Some people bought it as a CD. Some people bought it from the Mac App Store. So you're able to update this through the Mac App Store, through Software Update, or the standalone installer. You only need to use one of these methods to update your computer, as Apple mentions in the support document here. So Mac App Store. Use this method if you originally purchased Pages, Numbers, or Keynote from the Mac App Store. Software Update. Use this method if you originally purchased iWork in a box or downloaded it, then activated a trial version of iWork. Standalone installer. Use this method if you originally purchased iWork in a box or downloaded an activated trial version of iWork. It's an alternative method to the software update method mentioned above. So there you go. How can you update iWork? And that's it for the app news today. Next up, just wanted to have the brief mention that Apple has removed the limit of buying just 2 iPhone 5s per order. You can now go ahead and buy tons and tons of iPhone 5s. There is no restriction anymore. Next up, Thunderbolt dock is now available for pre-order from Matrox. or I should really say, available for pre-order from B&H Photo for $249. This is the first Thunderbolt docking station outside of Apple's monitor. So what do you get with this docking station? Well, first off, there's two different versions, one with DVI and one with HDMI. So you get that as an output, either DVI or HDMI. Gigabit Ethernet is included. You get USB 3. I believe there's just one port for that, and you get two USB 2 ports. You also get an extra Thunderbolt port to daisy chain things, or daisy chain this dock, and it seems like a pretty good solution here. Also, I did not mention you do get microphone input and headphone output. So you get some nice ports here, and it's a nice solution for those that want some extra ports for your laptop or your Thunderbolt-enabled desktop computer, such as the iMac or Mac Mini. So those are available to pre-order now, shipping around December 16th. Now, closing out the show today is iTunes 11, some tips and tricks here. First up is a tip on searching. If you miss the old style of searching where you can search for composers and things like that, if you click on the magnifying little glass, you can select search entire library or just search this area. And if you click the other one, it will turn off the iTunes 11 special search and revert back to the old school style of searching. So that might be something you are interested in. Next up is a little tidbit that iTunes 11 is allowing people that don't have iTunes Match to re-download music that was once DRM'd as DRM-free music. Now, this isn't 100% foolproof. You may have mixed, but you do have a good chance now of iTunes Plus files for free just because of iTunes 11 and how it all handles this iCloud integration. So give it a roll and just see how it works for you. A link to this 2AW article is in the show notes. Last of the day is information about iTunes launching in lots of new countries. So iTunes Music Store has basically doubled its area of business to now 56 new countries and movies and 4 new ones. So lots of new countries in Africa, the Middle East, and India. A couple new countries in Europe, Asia Pacific, lots of countries there. Latin America and the Caribbean, lots of countries there. And for movies, India, Indonesia, Russia, and Turkey now have movies. So the interesting thing here that someone pointed out today was to combat piracy, iTunes is pricing music, and I believe movies even, aggressively low. We're talking about $3 for an album, a music album in Russia, versus the $10 that we pay here. So Apple is playing the market smart by actually pricing it at competitive rates in a market that's flooded with piracy. So this is a very interesting thing to see that music companies would go along with this, that they're actually doing this. That in Russia, they are basically using iTunes to combat piracy with crazy low prices that people in that environment would be comfortable paying for stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see that happen, and I only wish that pricing was that low everywhere, like here in America, so we could have low costs for music and movies as well. So anyways, just an interesting thing on economies and how things work across the world. So that will do us for today's show. Thank you for tuning in. My apologies once again for the lack of a show yesterday. Hopefully this fairly jumbo-sized episode made up for it a little bit at least. If you'd like the show notes, those are available at iWakePodcast.com. I also have a YouTube channel with that newly updated YouTube app. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, TCHATEN. It's available at youtube.com/TCHATEN. iWork.com/TCHATEN. And I also did this thing called iWake Again over at iWakePodcast.com/again. Thank you for listening or watching to today's episode. I will talk to everyone again tomorrow. Another edition of iWake. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.